turn it up to 105. We about to turn it up to 105.
Welcome to the Awkward Nas podcast. We back up in here. We got our boy D4 on the line. We got Mercenary the Don, of course. We got Shoot LaRue, my podcast girlfriend. We got we got of course we have our flagship person, of course. We have Nabor Smedley. And we're about to get into a whole lot of topics, I'm sure, tonight. Yeah.
Cause you already know I'm over here with an attitude about that shit.
Shoot my podcast girlfriend.
Hey. No, you just trying to block. That's cool.
I'm cock blocking like a motherfucker. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Y'all can still DM me. I'm a cheater.
She can cheat on me and shit. I'm cheating on her anyway.
Look, wait for our next episode. He finna get caught.
Okay, so let me jump in here on that one, right? Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember, like a few years ago, it was like, I think it was before George W. Bush was out of the office, and you had the Arabs had issues because it was like, okay, they wanted sinks and they wanted the separate sinks so they could wash their feet and stuff and they could pray and all of that type of stuff when they were supposed to pray and all of that, right? If you pay attention, the LGBTQ plus community, which only represents about 1.5% of America, been fucked around and they making strides, and then you see our black asses still sitting here looking stupid. Like, okay, so when at what point in time will I stop getting killed by police and shit? But they starting to see now, I guess, like, there's a lot of people when a lot of people, especially in Detroit, I've been noticing a lot of people when they got those stimulus checks and everything else they went and bought, there's a lot of open carrying going on right now in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about everywhere else, but in Detroit, there's a lot of open carrying going on.
That's a good point. Very good point. But continue.
But that's the thing is, like, okay, what I noticed was it ramped up even more after the situation with George Floyd and a few of the other people. You got black people getting hung all over the fucking place, and they want to keep calling that shit suicide. No, we ain't taking that shit. Listen, no, you gotta pay attention to where they finding them at, though. It was like, I think 2 in New York. It was one in Cali. Listen, look, listen. Like, they finding them in places like New York and Cali and shit, like places where it's like, these motherfuckers. Well, you expect it there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, you expected it somewhere like Alabama or Mississippi or shit, even Texas. Like, you expect it in areas like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like heavy urban areas, you don't expect that shit. So it's like, okay, how are these people getting away with hanging these people when this just turned it into motherfucking suicide? That shit ain't no goddamn suicide.
Because everyone is complicit. The areas in which they're doing these things are not highly populated not populated largely by ADOS/black people. And as you've seen with the Ahmaud Arbery, they're all complicit. Our lives are not worth too much of anything. They brought us to feel like that we still cattle. We 3/5 of a person. That shit ain't changed.
I mean, you got to think about. Okay, like, revisit the conversation me and you had the other day, right? See, the thing is, most of the time, most of the time, when you come to find out that somebody got lynched, it's mob violence. It's not
Mob
just
justice. Yeah.
right. It's you know what I'm saying? It's mob justice. It's not um like even if you really pay attention to that actual video of what happened to George Floyd, right?
Mob.
Originally all we saw was one officer on his neck. And then eventually when the body cam footage came out, it was three of them sitting on him too.
Show the whole thing.
And the fucked up part was one of them was black.
And that's why it's a motherfucking problem.
Because it's a whole different game, you know what I'm saying? And that,
Mm-hmm.
there was a movie called The Glass Shield that came out in like '93 or some shit. Ice Cube was in it. The one nigga from y'all familiar with the movie, right?
I
Yeah.
heard it, but I don't think I ever saw it. Though.
But it brought to light that camaraderie between police and how in a situation where the brother being on the force and having to deal with siding with the truth versus siding with
Right.
his brothers in blue, and how that kind of came about. That it really gave emphasis to how heightened that shit can be in that movie. If y'all even remember, they set the nigga up to try to get killed in one of them raids and shit, but he ain't go in first. If he had went in first, had his wig blew off.
Mm-mm.
Well, see what's been warming my fucking heart. And I ain't gonna lie, just watching like all of these protests going on all the way around the world. And for a long time, the Africans didn't give a shit about us. The Nigerians, none of them. They was like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But now they mad. They like, no, you not about to y'all ain't about to keep fucking with them over there in America because we'll come over there and fuck y'all up.
Put
You
a
know what
pin
I'm
in that
saying?
though. Because now I just came across some information which states they are easing up on the pressure that they putting on the UN to look into the United States government about I guess crimes against humanity.
Mm-hmm.
However you want to put that. So we feeling like somebody in the White House done slid them some money
Probably.
to
That's like
ask them to
if you
relax.
have a conversation, and I had a conversation with somebody from I think Uganda or something one time. He's like, I was working with him or something. And he broke it down to me like they don't look at us like we fucking from there. We ain't from there. They said
Nah, because we not.
no, because we fucking indigenous to America.
There you go. I mean, with us being here, this is the issue that most people are not understanding as it pertains to ADOS and why reparations should not be granted to any black person who is not a descendant of American chattel slavery.
Right.
Because thank you. So if you immigrated here, meaning like came here willfully on your own to do whatever you came here to do, and you're not a refugee or nothing like that, those people did not get here until like largely in groups such as like Nigerians, people coming from the Caribbean, all of that, until the 1960s, because you got to understand that we lived under Jim Crow. So if we can't even drink from their water fountains, you really think they finna be really letting black people from wherever the fuck else come over here and just do what they want to do?
Right.
Hell no.
Why
That
y'all
shit
think they
wasn't
gonna
no
give
go. There was no immigration of people from African nations or any island that was with people that are black. So that's
Well, see,
that
from
ain't
what
gonna
I've
work. So
been
that's why all of these Black Lives Matter. No, ADOS lives matter. Yeah, Black Lives Matter too, but ADOS lives really fucking matter.
seeing, what I've
Because we ain't
been
got shit and we're the ones who
right,
are at the bottom. Even if you take these people who come over here from other countries, you have to think about it. They not the broke ones.
right, right,
They
right.
ain't the broke
See
ones. The
now,
fuck y'all mean?
and
So if they
and
coming over
and,
here
and
and
some of
they
my
coming
research,
up, they getting on and coming up off of our broke asses, and we still ain't got shit.
right.
So I don't care. Kamala Harris, you don't represent ADOS, honey. Sorry, not sorry.
And see, the funny part is, like in the middle of me doing like some of my research and shit again, I figured out that a lot of us actually like the reason they don't consider us black is because we're more Native American than anything. Which is
But
why
they
when
were
you hear your
some of
grandparents, you hear
the.
your grandparents and all of them, like, yeah, you got Blackfoot, Cherokee, Creek, this and that. You know what I'm saying?
But
Navajo,
those
all
were the
that type
ones we
of
got to
shit.
put that on pause.
You already
We should
here.
not wear. We should not wear any of that shit with valor either, though. And
Mm-mm.
that's the thing. Even though we are mixed with Native American largely,
Yeah,
a
because they
great deal of
separated
us,
us from that too.
they held the same. Some of those tribes held the same enslaving practices as the racist white Anglo-Saxon Protestants
Mm-hmm.
of the South, aka the
Well, see,
Democratic Party.
that was
For for the
that was
rest of
them
y'all
assimilating.
motherfuckers
You
who
got to
always
think
feel
about it.
like somebody
You got to
need to
think
be
about it.
down, I'm
Mm.
telling you, they own slaves, and that's the reason why we mix with them. It ain't cause they was kicking it.
There's a lot of them. Like
That's called a
I
caste
think I know what you're
system.
talking about. There was a lot of them like they look like us. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this, right? Okay, so
I'm not about to say
in that
nothing. But go
situation,
ahead.
hold on. In that situation, how is it that as a people, right, we figure
Mm-hmm.
out how to stop hating ourselves so much? How do we pass that on to the next generation? How do we keep that within our generation and build it up? How do we do that?
Re-educate yourself.
Okay, well, how
First, you
many
got to
experts
accept.
do it?
You got to accept that the majority of what you was taught about yourself and life in general is a flat fucking lie.
Like,
Flat out lie.
me and the boy sat on the phone the other day, and I said it's all about education. If you ain't paying attention to what the fuck goes on around you, what's happened, because history repeats itself for one, and it's happening right now.
Very true. They
Right.
lying. They know exactly what the fuck it is. Ain't nobody
You
hung
know there wasn't
themselves
no
in it.
motherfucking
Not
suicide.
like that in the history of goddamn ever. They got this is a fucking Alfred Hitchcock movie or something. Y'all got me fucked up with the whole. Not no, you don't care now either, motherfucker. Come on, cut the shit.
You ain't about to stand out.
Do what you gotta do. So yeah, because we playing real ball out here right now.
Mm.
We realize that capital. How long have I been saying that black dollars fucking matter too? And we showing them that shit. Now
See,
all of a
and
sudden y'all care, and then
one
they
of the
say,
things
"Oh,
that's
we
been
going in
bothering
on
me.
Me
people."
too. Black dollars matter most.
Yeah, yeah. See,
Compared to white America, we ain't got shit. So go ahead, Ed, and say what you
well,
about to say so we can
listen,
help you
this is
understand
what
game.
we do. This is what we do. Okay, and once again, this is one of those situations. I hate to say this shit, but we worry about all the stupid shit, right? So instead of us purchasing property, purchasing shit that, like, you know what I'm saying, where we can fuck around and build,
It
we
ain't
go
that
buy,
easy.
we go
Bureaucracy and
buy,
red tape.
we go buy motherfucking Jordans, and we go buy a bunch of shit that's funding shit that's locking our black asses up, and ain't paying attention to who the fuck we spending our money with.
Somebody
That's
pick
what we
me.
fuck up. Now, if listen, if black people did the same shit, that listen, I got white friends and shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? My white friends, these motherfuckers, these niggas have on a $300 white tee, right? But they buy from each other, right?
Yeah, because they own everything. Y'all not okay. If we study, only thing we need to
I
do is
grew
study
up.
Black Wall Street. Because if
I'm
we
saying
set it
this.
up,
I'm saying this because I grew up. My grandma used to live over there about 7 miles in Illinois, right? It was a store over there that was black
I
owned.
hate white
It was
people.
a black owned store. Everybody avoided that fucking store. It was like a little beer and wine store. They ain't sell liquor and they sold beer and wine.
Can you give them a
Well,
piece
like
of
my uncle
goddamn
would
gum
go
so
up
I can
there
go to the
and
fucking
people
store?
wouldn't like you would look because like if you know the area, If you know the area, there's a store called Trade Winds over there too.
I have a
So
question.
it's
What's the
another little
point of having
small
on the
store
mask
that
if you
didn't
never
nobody
learn?
go shop at. The owners of that store though, the owners of that store,
Yeah.
they sold to some areas because wasn't nobody coming to the store. We don't stick together like everybody else do.
I want to piggyback off of that because I was saying that shit when I had went live in the smoke group that I'm in. Here it is, I'm in Atlanta, or rather, I'm in Aslan. Because I swear it was booty, 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 booty rocking everywhere. God damn it. Nonetheless, nonetheless, all right.
Funny as
Listen,
shit.
look,
Right.
motherfucking the whole point I was making in the live that I did was how they support each other. Like I'm at a black owned restaurant and I'm reading the reviews
Mm.
from from the restaurant and I'm noticing how one of them is from a nail shop. Just happened that I could tell that woman saying it review about 15 O's and so and she, describing how the food is so good and shit. But it's a but it's a nail shop. They say whatever nail or beauty tech shop or whatever the fuck. I forget the name. Forgive me. But the fact that it's a shop showing love to a whole nother establishment, one establishment showing love to a whole nother establishment. That's some shit that we ain't doing here. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother way we need to be on, but we got all these petty differences that be driving a wedge between us. You feel me? That's the point I was gonna get at. I mean, y'all take it from there, goddamn.
Whatever. I'm back.
Like I said, like y'all, two of y'all done been around me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? The way I look at it is like this. It's like, okay, when I see one of us, I don't care if they look like they hungry, they broke, they need such and such, they need this, they need that. If I got it, they got it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we want to see changes and all of that type of shit, the fact of the matter is, some of us got to step up and lead by fucking example.
Fuck all that. We don't need no leader. That's why we
Well,
out here looking dumb right now because everybody had all of their hope, faith, and trust
everybody
in
listen.
Barack
The
Obama,
problem is
and he
everybody was
played
looking for
race neutral
Tupac.
politics, and we're still fucking broke. I said we have this thing with leaders thinking that we need a messiah or whatever the hell.
Right.
I do not believe that. Be your own
Me
messiah,
neither.
group. We moving more
Me
powerful
neither.
in numbers anyway. Why put somebody out there to literally take a headshot
Right.
if
Because
you
you know it's
already
gonna
know
happen.
what it is? If they don't know who the target is, then who they gonna shoot? Who they gonna
Mhm.
kill?
Hold on, wait a minute. Look at
But
Pac.
my thing was this. That's why we can't allow them to continue to sell us this fucking dream that leads to the decadent veil where we hear stupid shit from people like brain dead as fuck Candace Owens, and that should be the last time I'm ever saying
Oh
her
my
weak ass
God,
name.
please don't say her name. She irritates the shit out of me.
We created that. We created that, bitch. How we gonna be mad?
We did. We did. We
We
did.
created that, bitch. How we gonna be mad? So that's how you know that bitch done had some type of psychotic break. Because if I see her with that fucking hairbrush back, fucking paper doll ass goddamn hairdo, look like she just snapped that shit on the top of her head like Miss Potato Head. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. You don't even have a look for yourself. You ain't even got nobody on your squad to let you know what you got going on. You look like a fucking doofus, which is exactly what she is. She look like what the
Okay.
fuck she is.
Okay.
For real.
Since
Get out of here.
they brought up
Idiot.
Since y'all brought up Candace Owens, okay, I got a question since y'all brought her up. I'm trying to catch. Go ahead.
I brought that bitch up to drag her. Yup, sure did. And you got dragged by one motherfucker who really don't even know what he talking about, aka T.I. talking about.
Shit, no,
Fucking, we tearing up our own Wakanda. Point to 20 places. These people don't even own the homes or the land that they sit on. So how the fuck is that Wakanda? Help me understand, silly motherfucker. T.I. ignorant ass. Wakanda don't exist. Like, stop. This shit is retarded. What people doing right now. Don't come talking about no comic book shit. And people out here being lynched in real life. Oh, my bad. I was in the tree. I was sleeping in the tree with a rope around my neck and I fell. The fuck?
Right. Yeah.
No, my dog. So he can keep that shit. Anybody with all of that bread that's talking and now all of a sudden you are a PhD in socioeconomics, but you was just rapping about bitches killing the hood with drugs, guns.
Right.
Having your daughter violated to make sure that she's not a thought the ones that you like.
Right.
I digress.
Okay, so listen,
that nigga don't speak for me, basically. He don't speak for me. He don't speak for black people. He shut the fuck up.
This shit bothered the fuck out of me. And this is like where, like, y'all mentioned Candace Owens. I don't even like saying the bitch name. But
it's a trigger.
When she said, okay, so like George Floyd, what's his name? Philando Castile. All of these, like when these motherfuckers get, when we dying at the hands of the fucking police and all of that type of shit, they villainize the shit out of us. And that's why I don't like old girl Candace Owens, because she took it upon herself to villainize this man. You go look at this motherfucker's criminal record, every fucking thing else, just as you can say that he deserved it.
Well, y'all know, maybe she had to say that to be safe where she live, y'all. You know. Cause back in the day, I used to drive an '85 Grand Prix, and I promise on everything I love, cause I lived in Washington County, Ypsilanti / Ann Arbor. I got pulled over like 16 times in that car.
She said about 16 times.
I sold the fucking car. I was like, this is what? Because they always thought it was, the type of vehicle it was. It's an '85 Grand Prix.
It was an '85 Grand Prix. I was about to say that. Like that.
So then when they get to the window, they literally would have to come up with a reason as to why they pulled me over. One of them, Aladdin, was like, the car I was driving a Chevy, and they said something about it's registered as a Cadillac. That's a lie from the pits of hell. What? How was it? How was it a Chevy? What you talking about? I said, step back. It say Chevrolet on the side of the car. Huh?
Well, see, this is
what?
By default, you go to the cop.
Oh, I was about to shut up. I heard him start talking. I was about to shut up.
By default, if you drive a Grand Am, you go in the cop. That's fucked up.
Right. The fuck? Grand Am, Grand Prix, anything is drug related if you drive these vehicles.
Listen, Grand Prix, Monte Carlo, Grand National, any of them bitches.
Any of that, right. I was like, oh, man.
Or a Caprice, yeah, you in trouble.
Oh, yeah, my cousin had a Caprice. I was like, girl, you the goat. I ain't driving no Caprice.
You got like a 96, 97. If you got like a 96 or 97 Grand Marquis or Crown Vic, you're in trouble.
That's
They gonna
great.
pull
That
you
is
over.
so like racial. That's another way to racial profile somebody by their vehicle.
Yeah.
Like this shit is, it's so many layers and dimensions to it. How can it cannot easily be undone. What the fuck
Ain't
are
no,
people
ain't
talking
no
about?
easy
This shit
shit.
can't be easily undone. How they treat us, what they do. Give people a job. You don't need to donate shit. Promote people from within that you know got it, and stop using nepotism for people that you don't even fucking know that's over there slacking and fucking up the bottom line.
Right.
Because we know how to get money out the motherfucking mud. Why? Because that's all we ever been able to do.
But looking at me like that, I'm not about
What people talking about?
to shit.
We ain't never,
You
since
gotta
when,
write
who
it.
a hoe ass nigga, raise your hand. Because I don't get it. Racism, white supremacy. They, in this particular instance, is the United States government and all of these societies. Okay, I was studying 1619, and I think that one was a podcast
You know
from the
what
New
was
York
his name?
Times. It was
Anthony
excellent.
Johnson. What was his name? Anthony Johnson. They took that man's land.
Ed,
They ran him.
I was
They ran
talking.
him out of South Carolina.
Ed.
I was asking if that's what you was talking about.
Oh, that was a question.
Pretty much. I said, are you talking about Anthony Johnson? That's what I just asked you.
I'm talking about the New
My
York
bad.
Times podcast series entitled 1619, like I was saying before you start asking questions in the middle of my explanation. You know what?
She mad. I gotta make her.
I'm straight. I'm straight.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't you about to snap off on my ass. Go ahead.
I almost got fired. I almost got fired on the air. I almost got fucking fired.
Fuck this job. I quit.
Right. Right now before the extra 600 on the unemployment run out. Fuck with me.
Oh, shit.
Anyhow, I was listening to the podcast 1619 that's presented by the New York Times. Like we said, yay, New York Times. Y'all can fuck with them. They straight. And it was talking about basically Jamestown, Virginia, from that moment forward, from when the first ship arrived to bring enslaved Africans to the Americas. Now, they were writing in their independence. I forget who was the person that wrote the preamble and the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, I forgot. But that guy, he was very strategic with the wording, because they're fighting for their independence, hence July 4, from Great Britain, Europe, whatever the hell, Great Britain to be specific. And they're writing, talking about how people need to be free and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time that they're saying this, they running a whole enslavement on Africans in America. They leave all of that shit out. That's why, yeah, they leave. There is no mention of American chattel slavery anywhere in what they do. Why do you think they cut the song short? The national anthem.
The Star Spangled Banner, yeah.
I'm an asshole. I printed the whole song out and passed it out to my students and asked them to read it.
All the way on. Right. They was up all the First Amendment right stuff.
The song is written about a battle during the Civil War where they were fighting to continue fighting over the institution of slavery being unconstitutional. And that's what the fucking song is about. Killing niggers.
Like I said, my answer for that is we
Nigga.
didn't really give a fuck about freeing us. It was a fucking political
The
move.
Emancipation Proclamation did not have anything to do with black people. They were enslaved at the time. That's what I just literally just said that.
Mhm. That's
It
what
was
I'm
written
saying.
specifically that way as to not even make mention that we are even on the land.
Hold on, let me read this quote, right? This is why I would not, this is why, personally, I will not
Real
fuck
quick.
around
I got
and celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation at all. Abraham Lincoln wrote in a letter, if I could save the Union, listen, if I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. Why the fuck would I celebrate the fucking Emancipation Proclamation?
Thank you. The people out here celebrating St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo, Thanksgiving, all of this shit. How I don't understand how we be celebrating when people get massacred. That shit need to just be a date on the calendar. We celebrating people getting slaughtered.
Pretty much.
Not just a few people, hundreds to thousands of people being massacred and slaughtered.
If
and
we got free,
children and women are casualties of those wars, and your little dog and everybody. So
exactly.
I'm with Ed. All this extra celebrating y'all be doing.
If we got free, why everybody was pissed off when they watched Rosewood?
Oh, I just studied y'all.
Why everybody get pissed off? Why everybody get pissed off when they watch Detroit? When they talk about the riots, and you know what the fuck the riots was about. Let's celebrate some shit like motherfucking Nat Turner fuck around and turn it up on the motherfuckers. How about that?
But why? Because he was defeated, castrated, and then they kept his peen in the jar.
Well, my whole thing was he stood his ass up and
it was a bunch of them. See, they don't tell you that. We got here because they were also losing.
We don't hear about that shit no motherfucking textbooks and shit.
You gotta think about it. It was falling apart anyway, because you had you got Sojourner Truth.
Celebrate Emmett Till's mama. I'm sorry. I know he celebrate Amy Till, making everybody look at how they did her fucking son and setting off the fucking civil rights movement. Celebrate that shit.
Right. But no. Because there's children out here who ain't never even heard of Rosa Parks. And I'm talking about children that look like Rosa Parks. So that's a motherfucking problem in and of itself. How you gonna know who you are if you don't know where you came from?
Exactly. Celebrate
what you got going on. We rely too heavily on the school to teach our children.
How she
spend more time with your kids and stop letting them be on TikTok watching other people, racist ass children, make racist ass TikTok videos to traumatize your children when all they was trying to do was learn a new dance step. Fuck all of that. Start having more family time with your children. Kick it with your children. Teach them something. Let them teach you something.
It's probably one of our damn steps. Just like, listen, and I apologize to anybody that's listening to this shit. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but y'all stole classical music from us. Y'all stole rock and roll from us. Y'all trying to steal hip hop from us. Y'all done took everything from us. And y'all expect us to just be comfortable with that shit. But eventually, now it's getting to the point. Now it's getting to the point where motherfuckers standing the fuck up, and now y'all trying to make it look like we fucking up, and it's y'all running around out there setting shit on fire and tearing shit up. Thank you, Antifa.
Sons of Anarchy. I digress.
Your stupid ass is too fucking forgiving. I keep saying that shit.
Thank you. We were taught to hate ourselves.
Good boy. Good boy. Listen, what's the first thing? What's the first thing niggas do? What's the first thing niggas do? What's the first thing niggas do? When motherfuckers kill one of us, we sit up there. When Dylan Roof shot up that fucking church in South Carolina, the motherfucking bailiff, the black bailiff, hugged the bitch that shot it, hugged this nigga. Exactly. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. The whole fucking family is for the Amber Geiger. The whole fucking family hugged that bitch. Eye for an eye, two for a tooth. It's an eye for an eye and a
The
tooth
looting
for a
don't even have nothing to do with George Floyd. The looting have everything to do with COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
The looting has everything to do with COVID-19 and nothing to do with Black Lives Matter.
Who started it though? Who started it though?
That's it. That the Sons of Anarchy. That's what's going on there.
What us?
And
But
the fact
well,
that
listen,
why are people
we-
overlooking the fact that
we-
300 million people are unemployed in the United States,
Mm.
and half of that number are Black people. 1 in 2. If 1 in 3 people they saying are unemployed, then you might as well say 1 in 2 people that's Black are unemployed now. The jobs that a lot of us hold are not coming back, and we need to figure out what the fuck we about to do next.
Oh. Well, yeah, they fuck around. Martin Luther King said that shit. He said that his dream turned out to be his worst nightmare.
Yep. In one of his last speeches, he admitted.
Anybody listening, look up the quote. He said it.
You need to charge up your trap daddy. Yeah, I'm sure everything you just said was very profound, but we didn't hear none of that.
Can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So I want y'all to think about, and I want y'all to look up this quote and look up the whole interview. This is my final thought, right? Martin Luther King said
Dr. Martin
that his dream, yes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that his dream turned into his worst nightmare. And I want y'all to look up that whole fucking interview and watch why the fuck he said that.
I already know why.
I'm talking to the listeners. I know you know. I know you know.
I ain't doing no fucking homework.
Go do your homework. Cause like I said, it's all about fucking education. If you don't know what the fuck is going on,
do your homework.
That's why I said I'm talking to the listeners. Our listeners, what our listeners do is they pay attention to the shit that we talk about, and then they fuck around and they go looking shit up.
I hope so. It only behooves them to do so. Yeah, I guess that's my final thought. Get learned and just stop believing stuff that is just being fed to you. False media, we don't need it, do we? No, we don't. Do your own research. Like Ed said, do your own research. We can give y'all the cliff notes, but y'all gonna have to go back and watch the whole show. Read the whole book, do the whole thing. And take notes so you know what you're talking about.
Indeed. I'll tell motherfuckers every fucking show, pick up a goddamn book.
People. Make and hold your city and your local and state government accountable. If you live in a fucked up area, is people getting paid and it's still fucked up, but they supposed to be working to make it better, then they need to really work to make it better, or they need to get the fuck on.
Take your ass out there and vote. Shit.
Put the pressure on these people. Put the
You
pressure
can't
on your
put the pressure
mayor,
on nobody if you
student
ain't voting for the
council,
motherfucker that's
your
supposed to
state
fix
reps. Put the pressure on them. Now is the time. It's an election year. Yeah. Get to know yourself and see how and which ways you can be of assistance to yourself and everyone else.